My name is Lennart Kocken. I work for ABB. I joined 6 years ago, originally as a front-end developer, and recently I started programming with Qt QML C++. I started as a freelance web developer when I was like 15 years old. I had my own business. In the meantime, I did some studying. I studied a completely different subject. And like 6 years ago, I was asked for this position as a freelancer. Originally, I studied tax law. So I have been a tax advisor for a couple of years. I didn't really like the job. I didn't really like the people around me. In my spare time, I was still doing home automation, website development, things like that. So I'm more of a geek than a tax advisor. What I like most about what we're developing is that real users actually see our product. So we're working on the user interface. Many other software parts are quite invisible to real users, like communication with the backend, communication with the vehicle, communication with the hardware. But our user interface is actually visible and people can interact with it. And yeah, that makes me quite proud of what we're doing. It's rewarding, but it's also very difficult, because if something goes wrong in the cloud or with the hardware or the payment terminal, whatever, the error message will come on the screen. So it will be in our HMI. So the HMI is always the first component to blame if something goes wrong. So that's also a challenge for me personally, to make sure that all the underlying components also work well. We started using web technologies for the development of our HMI. So originally we had an implementation of HMI with the Angular JavaScript framework. It didn't perform well. We spent a couple of years to make it more responsive. We removed the framework, we made some optimization in the code, we upgraded the browser, and eventually we decided that using web technologies was not the way to go forward. So then someone made a proof of concept with Qt, and it turned out that that was performing well on our hardware. We decided that we wanted to get rid of our web application, and we decided to migrate to Qt. We started with some onboarding sessions. A senior developer from Qt was involved. It was Pierre. So he explained the concepts, and before we received a list of potential subjects, and we chose a couple of them we thought were interesting for us. He explained all the subjects in only 4 sessions. That really helped us getting up to speed. And after that we started with professional services, and now we have a weekly meeting with Xavier, who's also a senior developer, and he's doing things like code review and best practices to get our code more mature and stable. Yeah, Qt helps us to make a responsive application. Our hardware has limited resources. It's just a single core processor. You cannot run big applications on our target. We tried that in the past, we failed, and now with Qt we can actually use our hardware in a way that we want to use it. What I really like about Squish is that you need very limited code to get your application tested. A lot of code is generated for you. You can easily run some scenarios and then use the picker tool to select an object on the screen that you want to have tested, for example a text field or a color or whatever. That's something I really like. It works very intuitive, it's really fast. That's a thing I use a lot. First word that comes to my mind when I talk about Qt is speed. Mainly the performance, so the application is really responsive, but it's also quite easy to create a proof of concept and build an application from scratch. You can see the results very quickly.